Okay, everybody, hello! Welcome back to another Annie's Productions Entertainment video. This is going to be a little video on Supreme Commander 2, and I am going to be casting some games from the, I believe it's the 10th anniversary of the OSS clan. There's a massive tournament, big prizes, lots of players. It was amazing. Unfortunately, while I did try to stream it, didn't really get any games. This is, why I don't stream these sort of things, because it happens. I just sat in the Discord for ages, but, it's better for them to do the games, and I'm not, blaming anyone for it, but it's fine, because I've got the replays here, and I can just cast it on YouTube and put it up there. So, with that out of the way, I can now introduce the players. On the left side, we have a white Cybran Commander, and I just remembered that I have not actually put the audio on the right channel, because I am a cuck, I don't believe. Oh dear. I don't know why it's coming out of my speakers, though. It is, Is it coming out of my speakers? Don't know. Right. I've been fiddling with the audio, you see, and I can't quite tell if it's coming out of my speakers or not, because my speakers are getting dead. But yes, to introduce the white Cybran player, and he's going to be OSS Frost, going to be putting down a mass extractor, and he's already run out of resources, as you can see, committing to land and air production, having to hold the production on the land factory, and his engineer is going down to the other 4 mass pad area so they can get more resources. On the other side, we have Protostar playing as a purple Gaon commander, and he's going to be pushing out loads of aircraft. And he's going to be trying to bomb a few extractors if he sees them. Got a couple of Harvogs on the ground there. They will be firing on those Gemini aircraft from the Aeon player. It's going to be coming in. And Protostar actually looking very strong in this matchup, actually. ACU having to come up into the top area of the map. Got an engineer supporting it as well. No anti-air units. As you can see, they're all loyalists. No adapters on the field at the moment. And we do have, obviously, more Harvogs coming out of Protostar's land factory. So generally, I mean, this is I've always had a bit of a debate on whether, air or land, and it's more of a risk personally if you're going air, but then it's more rewarding because you can do more damage with it. But you can, if you make a mistake, you can lose so much more than if you just played land. I mean, if you need to have a good amount of micro, you need to have a good micro skill to be able to play air openers, and that is crucial. That is something I do not have, and this is why I don't necessarily recommend air openers. But don't forget, these two players have been playing for way longer than I have, so obviously I get to be pawned in my own skills and just think, wow, I am so bad at this game. Anyway, enough about me. We've got Harvogs coming through the front door, and we have aircraft going down to the bottom as well. Got to try and pick off more structures over there. They will see these 4 mass extractors eventually. Harvogs are being pushed back by the loyalists. No adapters yet, but he's continuing to train Geminis. I assume that is the anti-air of choice. He's not going to be putting down too many adapters, because if he did, it would strain his resources too much. He wouldn't be able to focus on anti-ground too much. We've got Protostar pushing up. Got to be putting down a couple of I've got to put down a radar and energy and a land factory, and he is going to be quickly moving forward, being a bit aggressive here. May even get these couple of mass extractors on this corner here. We do see a bit of a battle on the front door of Frost's base, and it looks like the Protostar is putting on a nice amount of pressure here. Harvogs tearing through those loyalists. They've got the aircraft coming back over here. Gemini not really having much of a chance to try and engage, because they will get chewed up by the amount of anti-air that's there already. As you can see, Gemini fights taking a lot of damage here, but they do take out one of the, whatever these are called, the Aeon aircraft. I'm not even going to try and pronounce them, because the Aeon names are just stupid. But another Gemini goes down, but there's quite a bit of mass now, so Protostar will be losing out on those resources. Frost can now just use that bit of mass to his advantage and hopefully produce more units, although he has lost quite a bit himself. He's focusing quite a lot on resource expansion, or as Protostar is focusing more on unit production, so I'm not exactly sure how this is going to go. I believe Frost is spreading himself out very thinly here, because we've got a lot of unprotected structures here, and he hasn't got enough units, so I don't believe he's actually going to be able to protect any of these structures, and the aircraft, obviously, as they're doing now, they're going to come in and they're going to swoop and they're going to destroy all these buildings here, all the mass extractors, energy generators, whatever. We do have a second land factory coming up from Frost here, and that will be, I would assume, trying to defend these few scattered structures. Obviously, Protostar is going to be having a field day destroying those structures, and Frost is not going to have an easy time trying to deal with ground and air units. This is why, like, a mixture of loyalists and adapters would be good, but then again, having two different unit types to yourself as well would be alright, because it makes it harder for you to actually lose all your forces, but then again, you're putting more money into it, so it's a swings and roundabouts sort of thing. More energy generators from Protostar being put in his base. I assume he's going to be putting down more land factories. That would be expected here. I've got an idle engineer in the top right here. I don't know if he's going to use that or not, because you know there's a few mass pads he could claim, but I'm pretty sure he can like boost one of the factories and just get some more units out, because I think he's looking pretty strong already, but he might want to try and push himself. And, you know, push the land factory specifically as much as they can. Oh, yes, and a research station coming up for the Aeon player as well. Frost not looking too good here. He's going to commit to a second air and a third land. Okay, so I think even though he's lost a couple of mass extractors, he has, in fact, gotten enough resources to do that, of course. I would have expected Protostar to be a little bit more aggressive. Obviously, he hasn't seen many units being on the field there, and they're all the units that are on the field, they're clumped up in the base, so they're not going to be moving very far. So I thought that Protostar would actually be a bit more aggressive, because there are loads of targets here that he could get. There's an air factory that's about to be built, but I know he's being careful and all, but still, you know, I think there's a bit of a missed opportunity. It could have done a bit of damage. Like over here, there's an engineer and two mass extractors. Could definitely kill that, but you know, I think he's just being a bit apprehensive. But I suppose it's different when you're the commentator and you can see absolutely everything that's going on. But yeah, the aircraft is going to be swooping over. Just doing a little. Well, actually, he's just going through the front door. Probably will be getting killed. No, never mind. He's going to be grouping up. That's fair. Second research station coming out on that little outpost here. More Harvogs coming out of the land factories, and we do have more energy generators coming online as we speak. I'm not exactly sure what Protostar is going to be putting into research, apart from the shields and teleportation. I don't know. I think Harvogs do have shields. I know Yenzu's do, but obviously that's not what he has. Oh, and a lot of damage gets put on those loyalists. Didn't actually manage to scatter them, unfortunately, so he does lose out there. And here come the Harvogs tearing through those extra ground units. Engineer not really managing to do very much. He is in danger. May or may not get killed. No, he does actually get away. He gets away very nicely there. And the ACU building up his third land factory. We're going to try and counter these Harvogs, but here come the Geminis from Frost, and they're not really going to do much either. The Wheelboths are going to be the main damage dealers, it seems. Harvog's really only there, as far as I can see, to be a distraction for all the other forces. And the Wheelboths are going to swoop in, do a bombing running and go. Just hit and run tactics. And eventually they will probably wear down the opponent enough for them to just be wasting more resources than them making good trades, is what I'm trying to say. Oh dear. But yeah, a big clump of units by Protostar. He's going to be sitting right in front of the structures here. Gemini want to go in, but obviously apprehensive. Here comes the first adapter in the game. Very late adapter, but obviously he committed to one air and one land factory. Pretty expensive. Here comes the second, yeah, so he's now producing, that's a shield, but still, you know, he's starting to produce adapters now. He might have a better chance of defending himself against this. Oh, a lot of units from both sides going down, but it is going to be Protostar that's going to be winning the ground battle, and the Wheelboths are going to be tearing through those Geminis. Although Geminis are going to get some kills themselves, I don't think it's going to be as many as Protostar is going to be getting, because a lot more enemy aircraft from Protostar is going to be up in the field, and obviously, as you can see, loads of husks down there, so if, he's retreating now. Protostar is going back to his outpost, so Frost can now suck up that delicious yummy mass, dat mass yo, and obviously that'll assist with resources and building stuff. So again, then yes, he's getting the adapters out. That will definitely help him in this stage of the game. Although, now, because it's this late, I think that Protostar will probably be upgrading tiers, like putting down research points, and it's going to make it a lot harder to get rid of him, because he's quite fortified, and he's most likely going to go for experimentals, but I don't necessarily see that as happening. I mean, it's definitely a possibility, but there's not a guarantee, considering there's not really much call for experimentals. They would just get chewed up, unless, it's Frost that's going the experimentals, which would make sense. He's got to have adapters out. You could just go for megaliths and adapters. That's quite a powerful combo, but, just a few for you loyalty guns will sort that out. Gotta have a scout aircraft. I'm mixing up what I'm saying here. Scout aircraft coming from Protostar. Gotta be swooping over those structures here. And as you can see, the mass extractors that were destroyed earlier in the game have now been reclaimed. A couple of land factories going to be supported by a few Gemini in the sky there, and we're going to be having a lot more Harvogs coming out, but with some additions of Yenzus and Fishtooths as well. So he's going to be having some artillery, some basic tanks, so that's going to be good. And as you can see, he's got the shield upgrade now, so he should be, I would assume, focusing on teleportation next. The top would be a good candidate for a good teleportation. He could get behind the enemy lines, kill the aircraft, and kill the 2 land factories. If he's really aggressive, he could send his ACU as well, and then he'll be able to scoop up that delicious yummy mass. And obviously, he'll be forcing Frost back into his base a little bit more, preventing him from expanding. That's generally what you want to be doing. But Frost is actually doing pretty well. His production is quite large at the moment. Although Protostar has upgraded as well. He has now gotten 3 land factories and 3 air, so he is producing quite a bit. Frost at the moment is producing 1, 2, 3 air and 6 land, so he's producing a bit more than his opponent, and it seems that all the air units are going to go in for an attack. Obviously, Protostar notices this. He's going to be sending his own fighters, and Frost sending his Gemini straight in there. I'm not sure if this is exactly a good idea, because the Wheedle buffs are very strong in this situation, and I think Protostar is actually going to be the victor here. But I don't know. I mean, the few Weedleboths go down. It seems a little bit heavy on Protostar's side, but I don't know. It could actually be. It actually is pretty equal. So he may not be losing out as much as I thought he would. But here come the ground units. So this is what's going to be that kills all the Frost units. So that's quite unfortunate there. Obviously, Hardbugs with the anti-air upgrade. Very, very powerful ground unit. And he's going to be sending them to the top, as I suspected. Not a lot of defenses, especially seeing as he's committed already. Frost has already committed a lot of aircraft to be attacking his opponent. He's just going to be going, oh no, he's actually not going to be going for the land factories. Pretty sure this is a mistake, but I don't know if he knows about the factories just yet. He could, but again, I don't know. It depends if he's upgraded the range or not. Oh, there we go. They've got the Fishtooths firing on those factories now, so he should be aware of that at the very least. And we've got an air factory being built right up at the top, but it is being assaulted by Gemini fighters from Frost. I don't know if he's going to be saving that. Even if he doesn't, it's not too bad of a trade, because he is still quite up on the production. Whoa, okay. Whoa, that was Jetpack, I believe. Because, my god, okay, they just came in on a big swarm there. Obviously, the unit's backing up in case they have power detonate. My goodness. Wow, that's a lot of slaughter. A lot of slaughtering that's just been happening right now. We do have a bit of a teleport. Some Fishtooths going in there, passing the defenses. Oh, and there's the power detonate. Calamity. Just disintegrates all of those units. Very, very nice, but obviously we do have a small pocket of forces from Protostar. He has managed to get into the base here, and he is causing a lot of chaos. We've got a mass extractor going down, a few energy generators, the land factory taking a bit of damage as well, but the forces quickly get cleaned up by loyalists from Frost and some adapters. So, yeah, not too much damage, thankfully, although he did lose a lot of his ground forces doing in that attack there, and we do have the Fishtooths at the back. They're still trying to get out these structures, although we do have an adapter that will be slightly reducing the damage that each structure will take, but, it's not going to be that much. Meanwhile, Protostar in his base is going to be building more energy generators. And he's also stuck with more research stations as well. We've got a land factory coming up over here, and I believe he's just going to keep taking up and keep making more units than his opponent, because I think that's the way to win. He's building up a lot of air units, and I mean, that's not surprising considering his air units are quite powerful. Oh, a nice sneaky engineer coming from Frost. I am very surprised that Protostar did not engage that. That is such a sweet target, especially seeing as he could put his ACU. I don't know if they can actually, if the ACU teleports or whatever, but he can put his ACU down here and get the mass. But again, I don't know. He should have at least killed it. That is, I'm really not sure why he didn't, but I don't know if it mattered that much. We do have a lot of Gemini over here, though, right to the back of the base. We'll be decimating all these couple of mass extractors that Protostar has built, and it looks like both players are pretty strong right now. We do have, obviously, radars going up, more research stations coming from Frost, and the engineers are rebuilding what has been lost and claiming the mass from the crippled or, like, dead units. Yes, and no rebuilding of that land factory in the middle of the map there. I don't necessarily know if he's really caring about that land factory. I mean, he could also just suck it up, but he's like mostly focusing on production. And it seems that Gemini, the Gemini from Frost, is actually making a move here. Going to be getting some more damage on those mass extractors, and they are definitely going to be taking down one of them. Obviously, the Weedleboss coming in. Gemini going to be trying to defend themselves. They're a bit stronger now, so it won't be quite so one-sided, but obviously the Weedleboss do have shields themselves. A couple of Geminis go down. We do have a big dogfight above the mass extractors over there. We do have some Harlogs going to assist the Weedleboss as well. Gemini still looking on the losing side. Quite a few Gemini is just absolutely been destroyed. Obviously, there's a few going off the map there. And is that... Oh, I thought that was one, like, right on the edge. Yeah, the Weedleboss absolutely decimated the Gemini with the assistance of the Harvogs. And here will come another attack from Protostar. Oh, power detonate, but he doesn't do anything. Yikes, that is a big loss for him. Frost is in a better trouble now. He's got a land factory gone. He's got a mass extractor gone. All right, okay. So most of that cluster of forces from Protostar, that has been basically deleted. But you know, now we've got the Weedleboss coming in. Oh yeah, they're going to be doing a lot of damage. Bye bye land factory. My God, that is a big amount of damage. And we've got a lot of ground forces here. It's quite weird as well. He's not actually used those ground forces. I think, it's because, he wants to try and distract his opponents, send all of his ground forces up to the back, I would assume, and then go in with the loyalists and the adapters, and then possibly get rid of that expansion. But oh, wow, these Weedleboss really coming down on that air factory that was being built, and obviously the mass extractors suffering as well. And I think that Frost doesn't really have many options. He's going to be trying to get those ground units towards the outpost here, and yes, we do have an experimental gantry. Now, I assume that would be building a megalith, so he'd be able to do the adapter megalith, which isn't too bad, actually. There aren't many strong units in this scenario here. There's a lot of ground units, but there are a lot of air units, but they're kind of like tier 1 sort of thing, so that could definitely be that wouldn't be a bad thing. But oh my God, look at all these Weedleboss. They're just decimating the ground forces. Teleport coming from the Harvogs. They're also assisting with that. We've got some adapters coming back, but it's going to be too late. Quite a bit of damage has been taken on that force, and the Weedleboss go back. That is insane. Wow, that's a lot of damage being dealt there. And obviously the Weedleboss is going to be looking for more targets at the top there, and may even go around the back and try and just chip away some of the structures on the edge there. Keep his opponent on his toes, maybe give him a bit too much pressure, try and get him to make a mistake or something like that. But Frost still holding strong. He is in his base. He is basically surrounded, and I didn't mean that to be a pun, by the way. And yeah, he doesn't really have anywhere to move. Otherwise, the Weedleboss will snipe whatever structure he builds. So he's not in a great situation right now. The bottom is really the only chance he has. Although, never mind, we have a couple of engineers down on the bottom from Protostar who's going to be converting the mass extractors that Frost built. And Frost is actually trying to get rid of these Weedleboss at the top here. Gemini are going to be retreating as the Weedleboss come in, but we do have the adapters on the scene right now. It will be snagging a kill, but that's only one in the sea of however many aircraft that is. But he will be forcing him away a little bit and trying to get him to shoo away. Oh, double teleport coming into the base there. Oh, power detonate coming from Frost as well. Will be eliminating that force. and the air factory taking some damage as well. All of Protostar all over the base. And Frost is definitely under pressure right now. He's got a big air force he needs to deal with. Here come the Wheedlerbotts right into the middle of the base. They're going to be striking down, and a lot of them are probably going to be suiciding. They see the gantry. Are they going to go for the gantry at all? No, they're going to go for the ACU. Bang! There we go. Frost has gone. He has been defeated. Yeah. So, that's a shame. I mean, I think that it was okay to go air at the beginning, but I really think that it was the lack of adapters in that game that really did the most harm to Frost, because all that aircraft really took it down a lot of targets. They did a lot of damage, and Protostar knew that his opponent did not have many anti-air units on the field, so that's why he just kept building more. If Frost, I think, would have built adapters earlier in the game, then it would be less likely that he would have died because of this, because, air spam. He's got, that's ridiculous number. There's like 12 or something? 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh my god, yeah, 12. So yeah, 12 factories, all producing these incredibly strong aircraft, because they won't go down easily. And obviously, because the adapters were brought out late in the game, he didn't have very much time to upgrade them and make sure that there were enough of them anyway. So yeah, he suffered there, but otherwise he made a really good stand. I mean, he did try and attack these mass extractors, but they just got slaughtered. The Gemini fighters got slaughtered by these Wheedlerbotts. It was insane. So yeah, I honestly think that one of the things he could have done is bring out adapters earlier, but obviously then he wouldn't have been able to scout. So it's a catch-22. Everything's a catch-22. But honestly, that was a good game. A really good game. I really enjoyed that. So on to the next one. Alright, here we go. Second game between Frost and Protostar. And I just realised after starting this recording that I did not even call out the map name, which is my bad. I've forgotten the qualities of making a good commentator. Oh dear, kill me please. But yeah, I think that was Way Station Zeta. I probably got the wrong map there, but it vaguely sounds like the correct one. But for this one, this map needs no introduction. Like, everybody knows this, but in case you don't play the game, this is Open Palms, probably the most played map in the game, as far as I know. Like the most non-modded map. It's very seen. It's seen very commonly. But anyway. Yes, let's introduce the players, even though you probably know who is who. We do have Protostar in the bottom playing as a yellow Aeon, and obviously we do have OSS Frost playing in the top as a white Cybern. And yes, both players going for a very aggressive beginning. Both going to be trying to seize the middle area of the map, and they are having the same idea. I think Protostar is slightly coming out ahead here. No turret coming from Frost, but we do see one long-range point defense coming from Protostar, so he does have that extra anti-ground defense. Frost is not going to be building one just yet, which I think is a bit of a mistake. But yeah, he's had to go quite a long way here. He's gone so far up. He hasn't really focused too much on unit production there. Oh, yes, very aggressive push as well. Does actually lose a unit there, but it's only the one unit, and he even reclaims it. Very, very nice there. Oh yes, Frost taking some ACU damage there, and it doesn't look like he's properly set up over here. I mean, Protostar pushing in very aggressively here, but Frost is taking a bit more damage than his opponent, and I think Frost, if he doesn't do something quickly, he's going to be sacrificing himself, and we're not even going to get to 5 minutes, and it's all going to be over. Oh dear, Frost, you didn't even have a point defense. That would have really helped you in this situation. And obviously, Frost does not have as many units either. So Protostar is definitely going to be winning this engagement in the middle over here. Even the engineer that's trying to heal up that land factory is not going to be healing up as much as it can, or as much as well. It's just not. The damage is going to be too much. And yes, Protostar going for the reclaim. Going for the reclaim on that central land factory. He needs to control Kaya. Frost needs to get rid of it. There we go. Now he's gotten rid of it, at least. I mean, Protostar will still claim the mass, but at least he doesn't have a completely free factory. And yeah, Protostar having to be pushed back. That is really serious for Frost. getting the names mixed up. Yikes. That's really serious for Frost, because now he's lost all that money in the early game. He's not managed to keep a hold of that. Obviously, he's also destroyed his radar, but he's been pushed back quite a bit. And Protostar has managed to keep his position, so Protostar is very much ahead in this now, and he's gotten more units, and he's going to be focusing more on expanding. He's not got to try and build up and then expand. He can just immediately go and expand, and he can just continue to put the pressure on his opponent. Frost is really licking his wounds. He's suffered quite a bit, and a Brackman is just having a bit of a dance there. But yeah, Engineer is going to be going down towards these 4 mass pads, which is going to be good for him. But I don't know, I mean, that will probably be attacked later in the game, but he does need the resources now. So, you know, for fourth war factory, yeah, it's kind of the same. 4th land factory was actually going to come up, but it still is. But, you know, he's going to be healing some units first. Fish Tooths coming out for Protostar. Engineer nicely getting away just from the Yenzus that were coming out over there. And we do have a tactical missile launcher on the land factory there. We'll be putting down some fire on the ground units. Frost having to move those units back and forth. I will speed this up a bit. And yeah, Frost is really trying to keep his position here. He's not wanting to go any further back, but he's lost a lot of ground already, and I don't know how long he'll be able to keep it, because Protostar does have he does have the better tempo now, and Loyalist will be cleaning up a couple of Yenzus. Not a best trade, to be honest. He's those 3 Loyalists might have been able to put to better use, but at least he checked around there anyway, instead of just completely ignoring it. We do have a lot of Brackman and Loyalists in the middle though. We'll be pushing back all these forces a bit. But they'll be coming back quite swiftly. Obviously, the Batmen don't really want to be staying in one area for too long, especially in the middle where they could just get killed. All land factories being paused now. Adapters coming out a lot earlier than the first game, which is good news. But you know, he needs to have a bit more support than that. At least, you know, he's got a few shielded units. It's better than none. But maybe another land factory would do him good. I don't quite know. He's still not great on units at the moment. Protostar definitely has the better composition, the better flow, but he's still not got him moved up, which I think is a better play. Oh, nice. Land Factory actually goes down. Was that from the TML? I don't actually know. It could have been. Oh, yeah, that was from the TML. Yikes. Yeah, that's a big yikes right there. And he's going to be taking down the other one as well. Yeah, he really needs to try and think of a plan quickly. That is insane. I completely forgot how well Aeon TMLs just absolutely decimate everything from such a long range. Couple of adapters going around mass extractors over there. And yeah, Frost having to keep his entire force at the front of his land factory so that they don't get killed. ACU is going to be getting a few more mass pads as well. So yeah, let's speed this up a bit. Obviously, we see Protostar building a few more land factories. Got some Yenzu tanks going to be pushing back a couple of adapters. Going to be snagging a mass extractor kill. Brackman not going to be arriving there in time, and Protostar's unit's going to be pushing into the base of Frost. So he nicely splits up the units of Frost, and yeah, we do have sniper tanks, shotguns, yes, coming out from Protostar's buildings, and they will be definitely very, very hard to get rid of, especially because Frost hasn't gone air, which is generally the right play to do. But I mean, if he just somehow just got rid of 2 of his factories and went straight air, that would be a big risk, but you know, that could actually bring him back. I've never actually seen anybody do that, but theoretically, it's a very bad decision. But you know, it could pay off. There's no anti-air as far as I can see, no Harvogs, nothing. So yeah, but the shots are just going to be insane to deal with, especially with all those ground forces protecting them. Frost does not have the means yet, and the only play he can make is to get some research stations, or at least try to flank as much as possible. Don't go straight into the shotguns. Try and get them to move. Try and get them to split up a bit. That is really the only play he can make at the moment, and then he can try and get resources to get the research points to try and get jump packs and try and fly them in like that. But again, that's not necessarily going to work if it's well defended, and it looks like Protostar definitely has a well defended base, and he's going to be making another push towards the mass extractors. Although Frost going to be checking out this area, not really managing to do that. But yeah, he's going to be really focusing on those land units now. And yeah, the this area looks like it's going to be taken down pretty easily. Again, Shotja's massive pain in Frost Source. A lot of units on the middle area as well. We do have a bit of a clump of units from Frost. A lot of adapters. Quite a lot of adapters. A few loyalists as well. And a few Brackmen. But again, I honestly don't think it's enough. He's kind of locked into this thing of building only 3 units because he needs to quickly build some units to try and get some more units on the field, so at least he has a better chance of dealing with an immediate attack, which is always threatening. And again, splitting up the units. Now both of them are going to die because of the Shotjas. But although the units on the right side may not be so bad, but on the left side it's kind of one-sided, to be honest. On the right side though, he does actually defend that. One structure does go down. It was a mass extractor, unfortunately. And yes, Protostar, using the teleport ability, will be coming in with those Yenzus and demolishing those structures. Multiple teleports coming around. That's putting way too much pressure on Frost, and I don't think he's going to be able to deal with this. A lot of ground units, pretty much everywhere. Yeah, there we go. That was quite one-sided, that entire game. It was all because Frost lost that ground in the at the beginning of the game, beginning of the match. He went very far forward. And because Protostar built his land factory at the base of the ramp, he had more time to get more units out. Although, even though his opponent already had a land factory or 2 at the back here, he was already producing units. It takes them a long time to travel there, and that does actually build up to something. And he didn't even have enough resources to put down a point defense. That was insane. If he managed to put down a point defense, he would have definitely lasted a lot longer in the middle area. But because he lost that was basically a win for Protostar immediately, because, as I said before, Frost was locked into making 3 units, the Brackman, Loyalists, and Adapters, to try and rush and defend as much as possible, but he was too busy defending and not busy enough trying to tech up, because he lost that temper in the early game, and that's just what killed him. Very, very sad, but, it happens. It does happen, but both players played very well. I really enjoyed these couple of games, and I hope you have too. I will be releasing a video very shortly on the next 2 games from this tournament, because there's a lot of replays to go through. There have been a lot of games, as I said. Big tournament, very, very excited. And for those of you who are excited about the Command & Conquer tournament, the Tiberian Wars Cataclysm tournament, that has just begun as of this video being posted. We're still on round 1, about halfway through round 1. I have not done my games yet because I keep missing my opponent, which feels bad, man. But that said, I will try and get it done. Besides, it could be an excuse for me to get some practice in beforehand, because I haven't played the game in ages. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video of Supreme Commander. Bye-bye.